So recently I finished watching Vinland Saga, both seasons 1 and 2, and let's just say both were top tier. I don't have any criticisms to say about it other than it's so good. Please watch it. It's so good. Anyway, during season 1, I came to the realization that, oh, Askeladd's my favorite character. I love his character so much due to how much there is to him. In the first half of season 1, he seems like just a regular pirate that killed the MC's father, but after that, you get to see his character be fleshed out over the course of the remaining episodes, and then the climax that ultimately puts his character to rest, having a profound impact on Thorfinn and us the audience. So I want to delve deep into why Askeladd is such a well-written character, showing his views on the world, how he relates to Thorfinn, the overall story of Vinland Saga, and many more. So, without wasting any more time, let's get into it. Oh, and be sure to like and subscribe. My last video did extremely well, so thank you for your guys' support, and also 100 subs. Okay, let's get into it. Askeladd is one of those characters that's so endearing to watch whenever he's on screen. I guess that could be due to how he carries himself in whatever situation he's in. He's usually calm, quick-witted, and every time it works out in the end. But he's a lot more than that. He's someone that has seen the terribleness and horrors of the world. Horrors that he may partake in himself, and he hates it to a T. Especially due to the Viking warrior. No, not warriors, monsters. As he describes them as stupid, filthy, greedy, disgusting savages, only there to satisfy their lust for violence and pillaging, effectively sucking the everlasting life out of what little the world has left. That's why he says he hates every single one of his crew members, except for maybe Bjorn, as he sees them as nothing but animals. Maybe not even animals, as at least animals instinctively understand the natural order of the world. They do not, especially when it comes to his upbringing. From a very young age, he understood how dreadful and terrible the world was. His mother being one of his father's many wives, who was turned into a slave, and by extension, Askeladd himself. Askeladd wasn't even his real name, just a name to showcase his role as a slave at that time. His mother always talked about the great hero Artorius? Give me a second. Oh yeah, Artorius. Yeah. Okay. How Artorius would return from his paradise to save his people. But as Askeladd said himself, why would he come back to this world? And I don't blame him for asking that, because if I was Artorius, I wouldn't want to come back to this world either. I would much rather stay in paradise for the rest of my life. Who would want to come back to this world? This shitty ass world? No one. And to get back to his childhood, it also shows how much he cared for his mother, caring for her when she was sick, and even escaping with her to Wales, her homeland, where he later grew up. Now this is where both Thors and Thorfinn enter the picture. So, let's talk about his relationship with the both of them. In their fight, it became clear to Askeladd that Thors was not your typical bloodthirsty warrior. He was different, as he says he could smell something different about him. An unusual, unfamiliar smell. A smell he hasn't smelled at all. And at that point, Askeladd knew that Thors was a true warrior. But he wanted to confirm that rationale, which leads to Askeladd asking why he doesn't kill him right here and now. since he basically won the duel, with Thors responding with,
本当の戦士には剣などいらぬ.
At this point, it was made clear to Askeladd, Thors was a true warrior, to the point where he even asked him to be the leader of he and his crew, as Askeladd would happily serve under someone like Thors, someone who is trying to make the world a better place. No more bloodshed, no more pillaging, none of that. No more of that. Askeladd does clarify that it was a joke, but in hindsight, thanks to the later episodes, I refuse to believe this was just a joke. And he only said it because he was in the presence of his crew. After their fight, his respect for Thors was immense, even saying that 100 warriors could never match the amount of worth Thors has on them. That's how much he respected Thors. A lot. After Askeladd and his band leave and Thorfinn follows them, after he sees that look in Thorfinn's eyes, he knew that Thorfinn would come to seek revenge against him. It was inevitable. But due to him being the son of Thors, you could almost say he feared what Thorfinn could become if he doesn't try to change him. If it was any other kid, he probably wouldn't have paid them any mind. But since this kid is the son of a warrior he respects the most, he gives him his full attention. Well, most of his attention. That's why he adopts him into his band of pirates. And over the course of the following years, Askeladd starts to see Thorfinn slowly fall deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into his revenge, to the point where he seemed like a completely different person than he was a couple of years ago. Duel after duel after duel after duel, in his own indirect tough way, he tries to make Thorfinn understand that this whole revenge thing isn't worth it, to the point where he says that he could never beat him even after 10 years or any amount of years. Even if Askeladd gets old, he can never beat him if he doesn't change. Let's not also forget the fact that he said, "I have to thank Thors." Now, you could take this statement at face value and only think of it as Askeladd using it to rile up Thorfinn, but I viewed it as a sense of immense respect. An opponent he's even willing to remember the name of, because he wasn't a Viking. He was a man, a person that wanted to change the world for the better, and Askeladd values that a lot. And now we reach the final episode, the climax and finale to an amazing first season and the character. During King Sweyn's speech, once he mentioned attacking Wales, Askeladd visibly becomes shocked, giving us one of the best reactions ever. As we know, Wales was the birthplace of his mother, somebody he cared deeply about, and so he holds that place near and dear to his heart. So hearing Wales being brought up by King Sweyn of all people, who he knew would show no remorse to the people of that place, he seemingly convinces Sweyn to send him as his messenger, to which he approves, but quietly gives Askeladd an ultimatum: Wales or Canute. And as we know, Wales is a place that Askeladd cares a lot for, but at the same time, he wishes for Canute to be king because he knows that Canute is fit to change this world for the better. And at that point, Askeladd's quick-witted plan comes into motion. Killing the barbarian king and causing pandemonium in the court, this was all a play by Askeladd. Kill the king and have Canute become king. And by the near end of this chaos, Thorfinn comes running in, wondering what the hell's going on, to which Askeladd indirectly gives Canute the chance to strike him down. Askeladd collapses onto the floor, bleeding out, with Thorfinn not wanting him to die, as he still needs to fulfill his revenge through a duel. And we truly get to see how much Askeladd cared for Thorfinn. He asks Thorfinn,
お前 どう生きるつもりだ。これから先、俺が死んでからその先、どう生きるつもりだ、トルフィン。
A question that Thorfinn has never once took into consideration throughout his path of revenge. To Thorfinn, his only purpose for living up to that point was to avenge his father. But after having a question like that asked to him, he doesn't know how to respond. And then Askeladd tells Thorfinn to not stay on this path and to move forward. Go beyond the world where Thors went, if not farther. You're his son after all. This truly shows how much Askeladd cared for Thorfinn, even if harsh at times. He saw a true warrior in the form of Thors, somebody who he deemed suitable to being the change this world needs. This world that's full of hatred, violence, suffering, depression, everything negative you could say in the book. And he wanted Thorfinn to change, because he knows he can change. He has the potential to change both himself and the world, along with others. If Thors could change for the better, so can he. He's his son, and he dies, entrusting that Thorfinn will see this as a life lesson after everything he's worked for was for nothing. It's all so big. I got hard just due to how big it was. I am so sorry for putting that in my script. Let's continue, which transitions well into season 2, as this season focuses on Thorfinn's growth after the events of season 1. Now, Thorfinn is on the path of change, so Askeladd's wishes did come to fruition. Askeladd in season 2 appeared for only one episode, but I would be a liar if I said he didn't allow Thorfinn to have one of the most impactful moments of the season. In Thorfinn's nightmare, when he's hanging on for dear life as he not fall into whatever hellscape this is, Askeladd appears on top of one of the pillars, seemingly regular compared to the zombie Viking warriors, and Bjorn. This clearly shows that Askeladd isn't like those Viking warriors, who are mindless creatures that enjoy causing violence and destruction, just like zombies. He despises that kind of stuff, which is why he appears as he originally was. He describes his place similar to the world of the living, showcasing how he views the living world. A world that forces a survival of the fittest mindset. A world that allows violence, bloodshed, greed to run rampant with no consequences. A world that's in favor of all these terrible, shitty things. A world that Thorfinn used to be a part of. Askeladd tells Thorfinn that he was once filled with the idea of being a warrior, but after the events of season 1 was emptied out, which I'm sure Askeladd was glad about. After he sees Thorfinn self-loathe himself for the things he had done, Askeladd decides to help Thorfinn get out of this place. This is really powerful, as it really shows how much he cares for Thorfinn. He tells Thorfinn to take the lives of the people he's killed and to climb. Become a true warrior. That is your true battle. If someone like Thors was able to grow into a true warrior, then so can Thorfinn. He's his son. Don't let your past eat you up. Don't let it define you. Take the people's lives, your past, and use it to grow into a true warrior, a better person. That is the idea that Askeladd wanted to hammer home into Thorfinn's head. And, of course, Thorfinn responds accordingly by using all of his might to climb himself out of that hellhole. And then, he wakes up. Can you tell how much I love this series? That's still one of my favorite scenes, period. If not my favorite from all of Vinland Saga. I'm sure that Askeladd realizes that his plan of making Thorfinn change into a true warrior, just like his father, had worked. and now he could entrust the responsibility of changing the world for the better to him. Askeladd is one of the most well-written characters in all of Vinland Saga. While not necessarily being a good guy himself, he sees and knows the horrors of the Viking world, especially as he grew up. He and his mother being slaves to Vikings, knowing how cruel the world is, and wanting to enact change upon it. Something he probably knew couldn't be done alone. Meeting Thors, Thorfinn, Canute, all these people who he knew were fit to transform the world from a bloodshed-ridden place to one of peace and prosperity. And especially after meeting Thorfinn, how he tries to change him for the better, which he definitely accomplished. I don't know if Askeladd's influence stops here since I haven't read the manga, but if this is the end of his character, I am all for it. A perfect ending for a perfect character. So if you did enjoy this video of mine, give it a like and subscribe. I'd also love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments, whether it be about Askeladd, Vinland Saga, this video, whatever. And please, if you still haven't checked out Vinland Saga, please, I implore you, watch it. It is so good. Please, I beg of you, please, it's so good. I love Vinland Saga to death. So with that being said, I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.
俺に喉を裂かれてくたばるその日までな。
怖いね。あのチビガキが俺にガン飛ばすとは成長したもんだ。